Well, my father was a Detroit Tiger fan for some strange reason, because we were in Racine, Wisconsin, which was much closer to Chicago. And I never asked him why he was a Detroit Tiger fan. And it was a mystery he took to his grave. And by a strange coincidence, his passing in February of '99 was coinciding with the closing of Tiger Stadium that same year. And Tiger Stadium is the oldest stadium in the United States, opening in the same year as Fenway in 1912. And I love going to the old stadiums. And I always wanted to go there to see it. And as the months went on, I got in my mind, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly to Detroit to see one game, to say goodbye for my dad as a ritual for myself. So my mother comes out for my brother Paul's wedding in the middle of the summer. And I say, Mom, I'm going to go to Detroit for one game to say goodbye for Dad. And she says, well, that's good. Like, you know, whatever you need to do, big deal. That's your thing. So I said, Mom, Dad was never in Tiger Stadium, right? She said, what are you talking about? We went there on our honeymoon. I said, you're kidding. No, we went to the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, and then we saw the Tigers play the White Sox. And she was still pissed 49 years later. So I said, Mom, that's amazing. She said, you know what's really amazing is you and your twin brother were conceived either that night or the next. So when I got my ticket, not only was I going to say my final goodbye, I was going to my conception place. The true circular dust to dust. So I flew back September 22nd. It was going to be the 6th last game ever played in Tiger Stadium. And on the plane, I was thinking about my father. Now, he was very, very sure of what he liked and what he didn't like. One day, my brother Paul comes home. It's college, and my dad says, what is this transcontinental yogi stuff you're into?
It's actually transcendental meditation.
Well, whatever it is, why are you into it?
Well, it's helped me relax, and I'm getting to know myself better.
Get to know yourself? For God's sakes, I knew who I was when I was 6 years old. I was Frank DeMark. What the hell else did I need to know? And that was my dad. Absolutely sure. And I thought baseball and the statistics and everything, that was like his transcendental meditation. Disappeared into the box score, erasing all thought. So I fly into Detroit, and I finally see the great old palace at the corner, Michigan and Trumbull. And it's just gorgeous. It's kind of crumbly, but it's still beautiful to me. And all these people had flown in from all over the country like me. They're taking photos, trying to preserve a piece of history. I turn the corner. There's this black metallic bust of Ty Cobb on the wall. Probably the meanest man who ever played the game. Perfect for this rusting, tough town of Detroit. So I walk in my ticket, and you see the chipped tiles and rusting old girders, and you can just almost feel the Kowalski sausage greasing the air around me. And I walk in, I take my seat, and they're playing the Cleveland Indians, who are steaming their way to a pennant. Tigers are in last place. The guy on the mound is Brian Moeller. And right before his first pitch, he kneels down, and he does something with his finger in the dirt on the mound. And later, I heard that he was putting his father's initials there because his father died before he made it to the majors. So he wanted him to be there with him. But I didn't really care about the game. Moeller's getting lit up, getting killed. The manager's not taking him out. He doesn't care anymore. And And this guy behind me is outraged. He says, oh my God, take him out. Oh, have pity on us. Oh, another, oh, Jesus. You spell it B-U-L-L-P-E-N. I'm walking around and you can just feel this history in this place. The place of Cobb and Kaline and Willie Horton and Sam Crawford and Ruth had played there. It felt so ancient. So I sat down, just watching the game, and there's this guy from Detroit named Derek Ortega. He was a baseball player, and I said I play softball in Northern California, and he says, geez, you came all this way for this? I said, yeah, I did. He said, well, why'd you come all this way for this game? I said, well, I came to say goodbye for my dad. I told him. He says, really? That's a good thing. He says, I got something for you. He says, here, you take this for your dad, okay? And I looked at it, I thought, what is it, dope? I said, what is it? He says, it's infield dirt. My friend's on the crew, and he shakes off the broom, and I collect the dirt. So I said, you take this for your dad. And right there, I went, now here we are, from dusk to dusk, conception, goodbye, and now I got the dirt. And I had hoped for one magical thing to happen, but I knew I couldn't make it happen. And there it was. So I had decided to do one thing. I wanted to take one of my father's handkerchiefs with his name on, and after the game, I would drop it on the dirt, this low fence behind home plate. So after the game, I went there, and all these people were standing there, just like me. They were looking at this palace that was going to be gone, taking photos, taking in the sight. Center field's 440 feet away. So I took this handkerchief, I dropped it, I looked at it, and this guy runs up. He's kind of a goatee. He said, hey, mister, you dropped your handkerchief. I said, well, I did it on purpose. I did it. I told him why. He said, you came all this way for your daddy? I said, yeah, I did. Oh, I gotta do something, man. So he takes his car key, he leans over this fence, he starts stabbing this red clay dirt, right? Just manically. So I take my rental car key and I'm stabbing the dirt. We're both just stabbing this dirt. And we both scoop up a handful. He says, what are we gonna do with it? And I said, well, I already got a bag of it. And he says, what do you mean? I said, well, somebody already gave me some from this game. He says, wow, really? So we dump it in there, and he looks at me. All of a sudden he goes, you grab me, give me a bear hug. You came for your daddy, man. You came for your daddy. You made it to Detroit, man. And then he goes, and boom, he's gone. Okay. He was embarrassed. So I was standing there going, geez, I never got dirt from a game before, now I get it twice in one game. And then this woman walks up, hands me her card, and says, I took a photo of you two guys. You write to me, I'll send you the photo, which she did. So I thought, this is wild. I mean, these Detroit strangers just reaching out to me, you know, tough old rusting Detroit. I got on the plane to come back the next day. And I thought, well, what would my father say if I told him I had flown all this way for one game just to say goodbye? And I know what he would have said. He said, well, why would you waste your money? Yeah. Save your money for something important. You know, we don't often get a chance to say goodbye just like we want. Your gestures fall short. The words run out. Time's gone. But I got lucky when I went to Detroit. The stranger's generosity and this little bag of infield dirt. And it was more than I expected. A better goodbye than I could have ever said. Thank you all for coming.